authoritarians rule with a forceful hand and prioritize obedience to their will over personal freedoms. Donald Trump exhibits behavior similar to authoritarian leaders around the world. Here's some examples. Undermining institutions. Trump keeps on dropping the idea of extending to a third term.
So we may have to go for an extra term.
Xi Jinping actually changed China's law so he could extend his rule indefinitely. Trump tries to undermine our system of checks and balances. Here he is declaring a national emergency in order to override Congress.
I'm going to be signing a national emergency, and it's been signed many times before.
Duda of Poland forced national judges to retire. Donald Trump bullied the Federal Reserve into lowering interest rates. Erdogan also pressures Turkey's central bank. Trump refused to commit to a peaceful transition of power if he loses the election against Joe Biden.
Win, lose, or draw in this election, will you commit here today for a peaceful transferal of power after the election?
Well, we're going to have to see what happens. You know that I've been complaining very strongly about the ballots.
Putin gets right to the point and just poisons his election rivals. Nepotism. Trump advances the careers of his inexperienced family and friends through nepotism. The Assad family of Syria is also big on nepotism. Strongman behavior. Donald Trump likes to act tough.
I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. It's true.
And so does Russia's Putin, who's a lot more convincing than President Bone Spurs. President Trump praises authoritarians like Kim Jong-un, who starves and tortures his own people.
He loves his people, not that I'm surprised by that, but he loves his people.
He speaks and his people sit up at attention. I want my people to do the same.
Venezuela's Chavez also had a number of touching authoritarian bromances. Trump instinctively defends violence against protesters, like in this case where a 75-year-old man was sent to the intensive care unit.
Buffalo cops shove a 75-year-old man to the ground, provoked outrage against police, and prompted felony charges against 2 officers.
In Belarus, Lukashenko arrests and intimidates protesters. Self-obsession. Donald Trump has established a cult of personality, and his supporters adore him like a king. We've all seen the crazy. In North Korea, people are expected to devote themselves to Kim Jong-un's family as they would to a god. Many psychologists believe that Trump has narcissistic personality disorder.
Did you know I was number 1 on Facebook? And I just found out I'm number 1 on Facebook. I thought that was very nice.
His ego reminds us of Gaddafi of Libya. President Trump has convinced much of his base that he was divinely appointed by God. So did Ayatollah Khomeini of Iran. Bending reality. Coming into office, Trump lied about inauguration crowd sizes and claimed he had the biggest electoral college win since Reagan.
Well, I don't know. I was given that information. I've seen that information around. But it was a very substantial victory. Do you agree with that? Okay, thank you. That's a good answer. Yes.
Putin tried to convince the world that Russian forces weren't fighting in Ukraine in 2014. President Trump claimed that 3 through 5 million Clinton votes were fake in 2016. In 2018, he called for a revote in Arizona's election. Erdogan made Istanbul redo an election, claiming the results were incorrect. Villainizing political opposition. Donald Trump has convinced many supporters that Democrats want to ruin the country.
They want to destroy you, and they want to destroy our country as we know it.
Hungary's Viktor Orbán spreads conspiracies about opposition parties working with foreign actors to destroy the country from within. In 2016, Trump encouraged chants of "lock her up." This was directed at his political opponent Hillary Clinton. In Venezuela, Maduro goes all the way and jails his political opponents. Restoring greatness. Make America Great Again was the rallying cry of the Trump 2016 campaign. Donald Trump vowed to rescue the country from being overrun and destroyed by immigrants. Hitler also promised post-World War I Germany that he would make it great again and promised to rescue the country from being overrun by Jewish people. Using religion as a political prop. Trump loves to show off how Christian he is.
2 Corinthians, right? 2 Corinthians 3:17. That's the whole ball game.
We'll never forget that classic time he gassed peaceful protesters to hold up a Bible in front of a church. Italy's Mussolini also used religion as a prop. He made a great show about implementing religious curriculum into schools. Anti-academia. Trump hates the academic establishment. In spite of 97% of climate scientists, he called global warming a hoax.
So Obama's talking about all of this with the global warming and that, and a lot of it's a hoax. It's a hoax. I mean, it's a money-making industry, okay? It's a hoax.
As part of his Cultural Revolution, Mao Zedong declared war on intellectuals and university staff. Attacking press. Trump attacks the press on a daily basis. Hitler's nickname for the press was lying press. Prejudice plus fear-mongering. Donald Trump employs non-stop fear-mongering against immigrants and scapegoats them for society's biggest problems. Before you watch, we'd like to make one thing clear. Immigrants, including undocumented immigrants, do not have higher rates of violence than do US-born citizens.
Take a look at the death and destruction that's been caused by people coming into this country. Violent criminals, criminal illegal aliens, dangerous criminal illegal immigrants.
Viktor Orban of Hungary once referred to migration as a poison. Trump dehumanizes people. He uses words like invasion and infest, which are associated with insects and rats. He also referred to Omarosa, his former assistant, as a dog. In Rwanda, Joseph Gatera called Tutsi people vermin and radio stations called them cockroaches. That kind of rhetoric eventually led to genocide. President Trump's zero-tolerance policy put children in inhumane conditions, without soap, toothpaste, showers, or beds. In China, Xi Jinping forces the Uyghur minority into concentration camps and makes them do forced labor. Conclusion. Donald Trump has the same behavioral tendencies of other authoritarian leaders. If offered, he would take the position of king in a heartbeat. The only thing stopping him is checks and balances in the US Constitution. To end on a positive note, we have an election coming up this year and can vote him out of office. Vote early and get your friends and family to do the same.